Hi, and welcome to my narrative on driving the 4,000-mile 1996 Arena Red C2 that we found in a garage in Central Washington earlier this year. And so I thought I would take you through the experience of what it's like to drive what is essentially a brand new, right off the showroom 993. So it's super exciting. Every time I drive or get in this car, there's something different that I experience. And today it was how fresh and soft and supportive the seat cushions were when I got into the driver's seat. I've been driving a lot of 993s lately of varying ages and miles, and these are just, as you would expect, like brand new. This car is really amazing in the sense that it really does feel like new, as you can feel as we're driving down this road. There are bumps in the road, and there's no rattles, no noise, no nothing in it. The car smells tremendously like a brand new car, and it's wonderful. The steering wheel, I feel the leather has not, it still has the grain, it still has the texture. The seats are the same way. As I put it into first gear, it goes right in. The clutch actuation is just super smooth, and as you would expect, the clutch releases the power. The clutch grabs very quickly in the pedal stroke, just super smooth. The car's been sitting for a couple of days, so I want to let it warm up. It's a little cold in Dallas, so I'm not going to do anything too crazy. And also to remind you that the tires on this car are original, so they're flat spotted. It may create some vibration as we get up to over 40 miles an hour. Sounds good. There's that vibration. So I'll try to keep the speed down a little bit. Very smooth. Again, a few things that I noticed right off the bat is, of course, all the originality, right? So no modifications. The radio is just as it was the day it was delivered. No changes there. The gauges, while you can't see them, they are the brightest orange red that I see, because they all, with age fade a little bit. And even when you have them refinished, they aren't quite the same as they were when they were brand new. The car does ride nicely. I suspect, the shocks are aged for sure, but it's also the stock ride height, which, as you can see in the pictures of the exterior of the car, it is riding high by today's standards. People like to lower them. This car is just perfect the way that it is. I'm gonna get a little bit of, it's like we're warmed up enough to let it go a little bit. This car, more than most, I can really feel the Vario ramp kicking in there in the 3,000 plus range. Again, you're hearing noise and vibration simply because of the bad tires, which will go away. It's just quiet and smooth. Air is working great. The brakes are smooth. Everything works. I mean, why wouldn't it? It's just perfection. Also, looking out of the windshield, just perfect and clear windshield. As you would expect. Downshifting into third, just goes right into gear. No notchiness, no anything. Just quite amazing. They all generally, any cars with miles on them. That was me going into first gear, if you can see that. But in any event, easily moved in and out. No concerns mechanically about this car. So I'll wait for traffic to clear and move on. Arena Red was the launch color for the 993, and this car, as you may have seen in one of our other videos, the extraordinary thing about this car was that there was very little, if any, paint correction needed on this car. It was just from sitting in the garage and the owner wiping it down on occasion. I think he stopped that at some point, because when we got there it was dusty, as you saw also in the first video we did. So my detailer washed the car, and y'all saw that, and he did, I think it may have taken a little over an hour to polish it. So really says a lot about the condition that it was kept in. And as the story goes, and we mentioned that before, the person who had done well for himself in the restaurant business bought the car kind of as a celebration for that, enjoyed it sort of right out of the dealership for 4,000 miles, and then he parked it. And I think he enjoyed looking at the car and knowing that he had it, but it really did not see much use. There are times when you see a car with very low miles, but it has been gotten out of and into so many times that the seats can look very, very worn. Windy day here. Car's doing great. Just those tires are making the steering wheel shake. Went through the car when we got it, and you can see that in the video, but safety issues, including making sure the brakes were perfect and replacing the brake lines, as well as all the fluids, all the filters, and checking all the systems. Everything was just amazing how well it's gone. We've driven it a little bit since then. As you can tell, we don't spend a lot of time driving it, but mostly just because it's not a car you can take very, very fast. But we have put some miles on it to continue to shake it down, and it's doing really well. It's just incredible. Right now we have 5 or 6 993s in the shop, 1 turbo, 2 turbos actually, and this is just quite an experience. Kind of riding through the rough neighborhood here, so we'll just make our way so we can get back to a nice straight road. We're proudly down in Dallas in the Design District, very close to downtown. This neighborhood is nearby, and obviously is going through some changes because the convenience to the city make it very attractive, and so new houses are coming in, as happens with many of the neighborhoods close to Dallas. Sounds good. Super tight, no looseness in the suspension or the steering, which can happen too on this one. Get it up to 5,500 RPM. Despite the steering wheel shakes, but the car really is super nice. Just drives so nicely. That's about 70 miles an hour. Still got it. 4th gear. It's cool and strong. Anticipate any issues with this car when it begins to get driven more regularly. And you know, there's always something that can happen, but what was pretty amazing about the way that this car was stored, and I think it's somewhat rather unintentionally, it was just fortuitous and lucky that in the high mountain or the high desert range of central Washington, it was a climate controlled garage, but it was dry, or the right amount of dry, I should say, right amount of low humidity that it preserved all the rubber very well. So when we got in the car, there were no cobwebs or moldy smells or anything in the car. We haven't really done anything other than vacuum the interior, and that was pretty lucky. That was one of the reasons why we wanted to see the car in person, because you can't see that sort of thing in pictures, but it really is just perfect. All the rubber, none of the rubber is dried or cracked. Sometimes they'll get, you know, the rubber will get, if it's too humid, it'll get soft and start to come apart as well, or heat, all those things. None of it here. It's crazy. And that's probably why the air conditioner worked right away. None of the coolant leaked out of the system. Even, you know, the pressure remained. It's just a good environment for protecting rubber things. So, and I am always amazed, as many of the 993s that we get that have been modified, lowered, etc., suspension modified, how well just the good old basic original suspension handles. It handles. really well. Wouldn't take it to the track, but it's great for the road. It's actually a good balance of comfort. Sometimes they get too low and they're just beating you up. They look good, but they beat you up. So we are back from our little loop, and can't quite say enough good things about driving this car. I'll get out in a minute and do a video of the car, of the outside of the car like you asked, and be right back.